gears a little bit and talk a little bit about patient appointments. So you mentioned like people miss appointments, sending them a video. Are there any ways practitioners can work to like actively retain their practice right now? I mean, first, logistically, you need a telemedicine or telehealth system in place, but the Health and Human Services has temporarily suspended or kind of changed the regulation on how they're going to enforce HIPAA compliant through video connection. I don't know if you saw that, but they specifically said things like FaceTime and Skype, they're not going to enforce that right now because they really want to encourage patients to maintain the relationship with their healthcare practitioner. And it does create an opportunity to get started with something, even if you don't want to use a VC or a Zoom that you pay for with HIPAA compliance. Can you talk a little bit about that? How are you coaching people through that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's incredible. I mean, the fact that you can just grab your phone and press a button and the patient can be right in front of you, right, is awesome. So how to use that? I think, you know, there's two ways. There's one, you can use it as a channel to give them peace and hope, and maybe do, you know, one call, and that's what, and the purpose is just to, you know, get them to from this time to when this is all over and they come back in your practice. That's a way to use it. But I was strategizing with a client the other day about this, and I mentioned this before. We were thinking about, well, we have a staff, everybody's at home, everybody has video. Like, what are all the procedures that we do in the office that don't require really necessarily like a protocol, but it requires more education and a supplement, you know, or a test, or maybe it's a blood test that we, you know, that they need to have. Well, there's a lot of those things. And hey, if this is going to go out for a month or two, there's a lot of those things like, hey, if they need to get a finger prick and send it in to a lab or things like that, like that stuff can be sent to them. There's, like I said before, there's supplements can be sent to them, and you can bill for the consulting. I mean, that's just to make you feel comfortable. My business is what we're doing right now. People look at me on the camera and I consult them through, you know, usually have a whiteboard or something, but that's what they pay me to do. So people actually do pay just to talk to someone, right? So, which I know you knew that, but people pay for that. And so I think if you can evolve your care plan, whether it's, hey, we're going to move you into an immunity plan for the next 2 months, and here are the supplements, here are the things we're going to take, and maybe, hey, as part of their thing, they get the supplements for free, or you get just to kind of build goodwill because they're used to coming into your practice. You're saying, hey, this is, again, we talked about before, you're getting in front of it. You get on the phone with them. Hey, Nina, this is Dr. Dave. How are you doing? Connect. And then, so Nina, up into this, you know, up until your last visit, we were focusing on your respiratory health and this, or that's probably not a good one with its relation to the virus, your liver health, and this, and this. But making it less of something that it's like, oh, it's a negative that you can't come into the office. Be like, what we've decided to do was, it's most important for you to keep your immune health strong. And so what we're going to do is we're going to actually send you these supplements at no cost. And maybe we'll send you this little finger prick thing for us to get your blood levels or whatever it is. And you send that to them. They do it. They send it back to you. You set up a follow-up appointment, right? And you just continue their care plan at that time. And you tell them, hey, does next Thursday when your next appointment, does that work for you? And almost, I'm not saying, again, not ignoring the situation, but more of, instead of being like, oh, this stinks and I'm sorry, we can't do anything for you. You know, we'll see you we're hoping, we're on the phone with the board, we're wondering we can be open, we're sorry. It's, hey, how are you doing? Hey, how's your health doing? Looking through their case history and seeing, well, how have you been doing since your last appointment? How's that leg pain doing? And then going into, hey, here's what I wanted to say about the coronavirus. You know, for you specifically, you know, you're going to do great. You're going to be great. I think one thing that we need to most focus on right now is, hey, that leg pain is important, but we really want to focus on your immunity. So I'm going to give you some stretches for that leg pain for the next 2 months, and we'll do some movement, maybe on Zoom. We'll get up and we'll do our movement on Zoom, or if, you know, whatever the stretch is on Zoom, or they have that scheduled with your person that does that kind of stuff. But we're going to focus on your immunity right now, and we're going to send you these supplements. We're going to do this, this, and this. And I think that taking that approach, hey, you're going to have 20% drop off, or 30% drop off, but a lot of people are going to say, that's exactly what I mean right now. Like, thank God, like, oh, you're giving me, this is the first time I've had hope in 3 weeks. Everybody's been sitting at home and you're saying, hey, I'm here to give you hope. So I think those are two ways. You can use it as something just to kind of keep them, keep communicating with them and not charge them for anything. and just say, hey, we're going to do, you know, regular calls, maybe Zoom calls once a week or FaceTime calls. I think FaceTime is probably the easiest because it's like, oh, I'm getting a FaceTime from my doctor, you know? And if you can use that, then great. But, and then the other one, which is, hey, create a package or centered around that. And don't have everything completely unique. It's we have an immune package that includes this, this, and this. And then if you want to, you can send maybe get a blood prick and get their what specifically they're low in, and send them more of that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's probably gonna be like vitamin D, zinc, whatever your protocol that you follow. So
I love those ideas. And it really, I mean, even what you said of like changing your practitioner, changing your own mindset of being apologetic, like, I'm so sorry I can't serve you right now the way you're accustomed, and instead transforming that into, your needs are probably more right now because you're under stress, you're stuck at home, like, let's modify, let me still be a resource for you. So a lot of it is really changing our own mindset as practitioners to not say, gosh, I can't do things the way I've always done them, so
right.
I can't do anything, into I can't do things the way I've always done them, so let's try some new and different things. And I actually think there's probably going to be, like, for things like teleconsultation, I think a lot of practitioners are going to stick with it after this is all over, because it's awesome to be able to teleconsult.
Oh, yeah.
My practice is teleconsultative, so I'm a little biased, but like you, I do it from comfort of my home. I do it from my parents' house when I'm visiting. I do it from wherever I am. You could do it from a vacation spot if you wanted to. It's always accessible to you. And I think that people are going to find that to be really helpful. And patients who might be hesitant to do an online consult thinking that they're not going to get as much out of it, I've really never heard that feedback from a client. Usually when we meet, it feels just as connected as it does when you're sitting in front of a person, other than if you're doing a manual therapy, of course. But for my role as a naturopathic physician, you can do so much still, even if you're working through a computer screen.